Good morning. Welcome to PWR Today, Tuesday morning. It's June 23rd, 2020. We're in summer now, and we're going to talk to my favorite summertime personality, Mr. David Herro. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Meathead. How are you?
The weather's out there. We got a lot of rain. I was driving in that rain yesterday, but other than that, we're in summer now. It doesn't feel like summer, obviously, with the situation going on, but
Right.
we're in summer. We just got news that MLB might be coming.
Bad. There's benefits to getting rain once in a while, so I can't complain.
I mean, I've been known to make it rain.
Less, I don't have to, when I water the plants and the grass and whatever else nonsense I'm trying to grow.
Well, I've been known to make it rain. I mean, but that's another story for another time on the after hours.
Yes, not first thing in the morning.
No. Folks, make sure you're checking us out on all the media streams if you can. Facebook and YouTube and Stitcher and Spotify and, all those other Apple Podcasts, Fight TV. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Lots of chances to make sure that you're checking out the content. If you listened to yesterday morning's show, Linda and I, after talking about what we had to talk about, I don't know if you heard this, Dave, but I asked everybody to go look up probably one of my favorite moments, and I know you were there for it too because you lost it as well. Linda going off in Laotian.
Oh my God, it was fantastic! It was one of the greatest things of all time. And if you're looking for it, I want to say it was end of May of 2017.
Okay. Yeah, Linda gave us criteria. She said Damien loses it or something like that is the name of the file.
It may have been the Memorial Day weekend show. It was so awesome.
Now, the other one I suggested everybody go watch is the draft results from 2014.
That one doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, I don't think you want people watching that one.
Nope, doesn't ring a bell. I don't believe that one. Yeah, that one, I have no idea what you're talking.
You outed my full name. You said my mom was in the business. I mean, you did all sorts of stuff.
Well, you cheated me, and I don't want to talk about it because, But even though that was 6 years ago, damn, 6 years ago.
Yeah. That was the Slick Rick episode of Damian Nelson was a 2013 draft where he had one eye, poked out Linda's other eye at the same time.
But I will say this, 6 years ago, Monday Night Raw was a lot better than the stuff we had to watch last night.
Yeah, and we're going to get into it right now. So Raw was dubbed Championship Monday, okay? So, I've been kind of needling you a little bit over the last few weeks about, the whatever you can do, I can do better. Well, they were part of the Championship Raw. Okay, we got the...
You know what? They had to recap it again for a 19th week in a row.
Well, we got the payoff. I'm not saying it was good, but we did get the payoff. It became the title match.
Do you know what a recap is for, Meathead?
Yeah, tell me.
It's for the people that didn't watch it the week before so they know what's going on. And here's the thing. Every week the ratings numbers go down. So let me tell you something. The people that are watching it watched it last week. Yep. They're not getting new viewers to watch this stuff.
Nope. There's not a new viewer who goes, I've been under a coma. Hey, what's been going on Raw? Thank God I joined in today.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I like Montez Ford. I think he is going to be a amazing standout solo act. Mm-hmm. I hope that happens sooner than later because that I don't want to sit through another Viking Raiders Street Profits anything.
You know why they're doing it, right? Besides the fact that there's nothing else to put on there, they're doing it showing as a unity. You got the Vikings and you've got the Prophets together. They put their hands together. That's why.
Lame. It's lame. It's bad.
It
Thank
is.
God. Here's the funny thing, okay? So you got the Street Profits. Then you got the Viking Raiders. Then you got the ninja gimmicks, okay? Now you bring in Angel Garza and Andrade.
Mm-hmm.
Is it all ethnic group tag teams?
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the route they're going. And I wanted to ask you about that. One, are stereotypes making their way back into wrestling? And two,
not the ways of Akeem and the Doctor of Style Slick, Mr. Fuji type stereotypes. You know what I mean? But it's just a interesting dynamic how that's now. If you look at all the different tag teams, they're all extremely different, and that's a great thing because it's just something different. But I want to see a Hart Foundation. I want to see a British Bulldog type tag team. I want to see a Demolition type. I don't see that right now. So I'm seeing recycled tag teams, and none of them are truly getting over right now.
Right. And like I said, there was two. One, the stereotypes, and you answered that. But two, the other thing, and just slightly touching on the Jeff Hardy thing, but more so what I saw tonight on Raw. On SmackDown, we've got this adult content issue with Jeff Hardy and his demons and his, problems that he's had in his life, and Sheamus continually bullying him about it.
Hey, wait, hold on. No pun intended, no pun intended. How about Fox getting pissy about all that stuff too?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Pun was intended. Thank you.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I'm going with that. On Raw tonight, I might be wrong, but I believe it's the first time I've seen an adult alcoholic beverage as a sponsor, and not just a casual commercial in between the segments. They had a profile on a wrestler. The adult beverage had a profile. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, they need sponsors, and let's be honest. What time did that spot run?
It didn't run at 7 Central, so 8 Eastern, but it didn't run after 10 Eastern, 9 Central either. It ran in the middle.
So I don't know. I think that is the least of the problems we have right now in the world of wrestling, is of having adult beverage sponsor anything. Right now, the product is, I told you this earlier. The show is terrible. It's not good. It's bad. Right now, I love Dolph Ziggler. I think he is a tremendous talent. How does he become number one contender? Now he's going to fight Drew McIntyre at Extreme Rules.
I don't want to watch.
I don't want to watch that. That is a match. That is a main event for Monday Night Raw. Okay.
Yep.
In the first hour and a half, the biggest stars we saw was Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax. They had the most believable heat of any of the segments we saw.
And continued heat because it went on later on.
Yeah. The best segments last night was Randy Orton and Edge's promos.
Edge's promo was long.
It wasn't anything in ring. Edge's promo was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was fire. You felt it. Sense of urgency. You can tell he's pissed. He wants to destroy Randy Orton. And that was money. Other than that, everything is mid-card. Everything comes across as mid-card. There were no main event players at all. You're dusting off the Big Show.
And that's just for Randy to go over on. That's all Big Show's there for.
So what is that telling you? Right now, when they have to bring back Big Show, okay, then you have to have Dolph Ziggler now against Drew McIntyre. Bobby Lashley, all of a sudden, now he's out of the heavyweight title picture after one title match.
Yep.
Who actually gave Drew McIntyre all he could handle, and now he's going after Apollo Crews in the U.S. title. How does that happen? How come Bobby doesn't get one more crack at Drew? If anything, let Dolph Ziggler chase Apollo Crews. He'll make Apollo Crews better.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're already gone
right now. The only match I want to see on that is going to be Sasha Banks and Asuka.
Yeah. It's tough. Now, I had told you before we went on the air that said, I know how you felt. I said I didn't have a problem as much with the show tonight because I got to watch wrestling and I actually enjoyed the matches tonight.
Right.
But the stories, I didn't.
I look at it as a guy that's trying to sell tickets.
Yeah.
And there's nothing on that show that I saw last night that would make me want to call my buddies up and say, hey, we got to go buy tickets and check out the show next week.
No, you're right. And then again, that's why I'm so happy to talk to you on Tuesday mornings, because you're not only David Herro, from PWR, but you're the booker man. All right. You're the promoter guy. So, I mean, I believe that part as well.
So when what time you get to work today, and all of your other buddies that watch wrestling, what was the stand? What is the one thing you can't wait to talk to them about?
Excited to see that Charlotte lost to Asuka because, I mean, granted,
that's what, a 3-minute conversation.
Yeah, and we're in the 50-50 booking era, so I mean, I kind of knew that she was going to lose. Asuka has to be strong for the moment.
Well, I think Charlotte's hurt.
Yeah, I do too.
She has to be, because they really emphasized that tonight.
Specifically in the interview. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you have the Iconics, who I thought were just being fantastic. Again, but it's like watching them as heels against Sasha and Bayley as heels. I'm like, what is going on here? It's just like there's no babyface tag team for them to work with. I was completely like, why? How come there's no baby faces for them?
I mean, on the selfish side, of course, maybe this is just, Meathead's booking when it came to draft, but all my champions are facing each other now. So, I mean, even if they lose, I end up with champions. So,
right. But you're still losing points.
I'm still losing points when I'm gaining points. Yeah. So right. Let's say.
But I mean, like Sasha. The Iconics.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved the tease with Sasha and Bayley. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
a seed.
Sasha's like, she wants Asuka. I'm like, so like right now for me, as much as I can't stand Bayley, I want Sasha to beat Asuka. So then those two have all 4 of the women's titles.
Absolutely. Dos.
That's heat. That will make now everyone chase after them. And it will now Nia Jax is going to want to go after them. Charlotte Flair is going to want to chase after them. The Iconics, hopefully Bianca Belair, they do something with her again soon. So it's like it's gonna be fun to watch, and I hope if they were to give me the pencil and say, hey, what do you want to do? I'm like, yeah, Asuka has to lose, because the money is now going to be with Sasha and Bayley having all 4 titles.
You think they lose right away, or you don't use that for another month or so? I mean, again, we're not going anywhere, so they can't stretch that out.
Well, no, I mean, at Extreme Rules, I have Sasha go over on Asuka.
Okay.
I do. And then you let Sasha and Bayley run with those 4 titles at least until the Royal Rumble. Let them get tons of heat, because that's exactly what they're going to do, is get tons of heat.
That's what I meant, and I misspoke. But yeah, that's what I meant. You would have the Asuka drop it right away. But yes, you have them run with that. So when does the Bayley-Sasha match happen?
Maybe that happens at the Rumble.
Or WrestleMania, if you say let them stay champions.
No, there's no way that those two could last that long having both titles. Not a chance.
Okay, because I think that's not just a pay-per-view match anymore. I think that's a Big 4 pay-per-view match.
But you know what? Or even that Survivor Series.
Yeah, happen at Survivor Series match at Rumble.
Because if, let's say, Sasha is the Raw Women's Champion and Bayley is the SmackDown Women's Champion, well, that means Sasha is the captain on the Raw brand against Bayley on the captain for the SmackDown brand.
Okay.
On the 5-on-5, if that's the route they go.
Sure. I'm with that. That's fine.
Yep.
You have made a point the last few weeks, and I've been trying to ignore it. And I'm not going to say you're right, because I know you're right, but I don't need to say you're right. Well, that's a setup. I mean, read between the lines there. I'm not enjoying Drew McIntyre with this big smiley face.
Yep.
I enjoy Drew, but not the smiley face.
Yeah, it's like, Drew, you were a badass. You were a legit badass. Like, dudes wanted to be you because you could just kill if you wanted to,
Scottish psychopath.
Yeah, and now he's just like, I was talking about it with Kevin Nash.
Okay.
And when Kevin Nash was super over as Diesel, they made him put on like a Santa's hat and pose for pictures as Santa Claus or some nonsense. And it just killed his edge. It killed his steam. It killed his viciousness. Yeah. And that's now what they're doing. They're now making Drew McIntyre into that bubblegum babyface. And that's not what got Drew McIntyre over.
Nope.
He was beating people's asses. It's just not working. Right now, the only person that is truly over on Raw is Randy Orton. He looks like a star, walks, talks, does everything like a legit star. Nobody else, with the exception of Edge, even comes close. Bobby Lashley had great fire with Drew McIntyre. I thought they were going to do something with him. And now he's back in neutral again. Aleister Black has the potential to be the guy on Raw.
He does, but he's not doing
but
it.
Him with Humberto Del Rio does nothing for him.
It's not Del Rio.
It's just like, God. It's like it's like the odd couple of tag team wrestling.
Right.
They don't look like they would ever hang out.
Have we ever seen them talk to each other?
No.
And that's it right there. I mean, you know what? When Ricochet and Aleister Black were teaming when they first came up, they did promos together. These two now, Humberto Carrillo, not Del Rio, Dave, but Humberto.
You know what? Del Rio sounds better.
It's easier for you to say. I get it.
It is. Mm-hmm. So that right there tells you that I'm not invested in him.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first saw Humberto, he worked in Milwaukee for NXT, and Scotty 2 Hotty was the agent. I go to Scotty, that kid's got a bright future. He's got good fire. He's got a great look. And he gets to Raw, and everything he did in NXT is now non-existent because they're forcing him up the card too quick, and he's not winning. He doesn't win the big matches.
Problem is, who else is going to be on the card there if he's not there? Again, that's where we're at right now. I mean,
okay. They put Rey Mysterio's kid on TV.
Right.
He's physically not ready for that either.
No.
We went off the air last night with Rey Mysterio, his son Dom, Humberto, and Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Aleister Black is the only one that showed legit fire.
He moves fast and he moves aggressive, and I really like it.
Yes. Everybody else, it's like, that's how we end the show with Humberto?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? There's no money in that.
No. Hey, while I got you...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dave.
I love Rey Mysterio. He is an icon. Yeah. He's a legend. He is a Hall of Famer. He is...
First ballot.
Dude, I mean, you could argue that Rey Mysterio could be on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling because of everything that he's done. He's that good. He needs to go away. He needs to stop. Much like The Undertaker retiring, I think it's time for Rey Mysterio as well.
Maybe. I mean, there's the Legends matches that could come up when the Saudi money comes around. But I was going to say, while I've got you, and I don't get the chance to talk to you about once a week here, let's talk SmackDown real quick. Your thoughts on Bray Wyatt going back to Bray Wyatt instead of The Fiend?
I think it's great because of the program he's going to be in with Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
The Fiend doesn't terrify or scare Braun Strowman because there's no connection. But as Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, that obviously triggers memories, thoughts, and emotions with Braun Strowman.
And the Black Mask.
And that's how you can get in his head, and that's how Bray Wyatt can beat him as the Wyatt family, not the Funhouse.
I absolutely love it. I mean, the only difference, obviously, is the beard's different, but still, he wears it, looks it, walks it, feels it, just like he did before. I think he needs to come out to the old music, with the bass line, everything.
Oh, he will. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. The rocking chair, the lamp, all of it.
Yeah. Like, I can fully see him starting off as Bray Wyatt, and then during the match,
transitioning.
Yep.
Good. Love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, we're kind of, I hate to call it the COVID era, but we're in the COVID era, and, we've had that a few times.
Yep. This has changed everything wrestling because now there's no fans. It's terrible booking because they don't have access to everybody, which is weird because 85% of them live in Florida. I mean, if you can put it this way, Dolph Ziggler lives out in California or Phoenix.
Yeah.
He can come across the country. Where's everybody else?
That's funny because he bills himself from Hollywood, Florida. I mean, I'm kidding.
Kevin Owens even on tonight?
Who? Owens? No.
How does that happen?
Don't know. I mean, but he's around.
Yeah.
Speaking of, and I know that we've been kind of keeping this under wraps, you and me. You mentioned Kevin Owens. I know we are working on a deal. I don't want to announce it yet because I don't want to make it official until it's official. I know you guys got to keep, pay attention to the program, pay attention to the content here. But there is a trade happening between you and me. So
yeah, and we hopefully it can be announced on Saturday night.
Saturday night's primetime, absolutely. So
Yes.
yeah, there's big things popping, little things dropping.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Finally, I've got to ask you again. I don't get you about once a week, promoter man. MLB went ahead and they said they're going to go back to the March 20th agreement. It is possible that we might get an announcement later today that baseball's coming back on my birthday, no less, on White Castle Day. When is professional wrestling going to be getting some live action?
Let's hope by SummerSlam.
Let's hope.
I don't see it happening before then.
Yeah. So they're going to ask if all the teams are ready to go to spring training in their hometowns by July 1. So we'll have to see.
Yep. Hey, if I'm Vince McMahon, I let Major League Baseball figure this stuff out first. Let them spend their money. And then he sees what works and what doesn't, then he can make the announcement for the SummerSlam.
It's funny because that's never been Vince. Vince was always the first out. He was the first show after 9/11. He was
his stocks have taken a hit. So
huge hit,
let somebody
especially
else
after last weekend. So
yes.
All right. Yep. So for Dave Herro, I'm the man they call Meathead. Again, make sure you're subscribing and liking so you can get notice. And again, you might even get a notice when the trade happens this week. So for Dave, I'm Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.